Hi guys, welcome to my channel, welcome to DIY Art Blast. Today I'm gonna paint another watercolor painting, and this is all the materials I'm gonna use. If you also want to paint with me, you can just grab your watercolor and watercolor paper, but today I'm gonna use this watercolor brand. You can use any type of watercolor brand you have, and as you can see, I already draw the outline of a parrot, so you can also just pause the video and you can just trace the whole parrot with me, or you know what, just find a different picture from online and you can paint a similar way. The way I'm gonna show you how to paint this. Alright, so now these are the brushes I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use two brushes. The big one, this is a round brush, it's a number 6 size, and I'm also gonna use this small brush, it's a number 0 size. Alright, so I also have this type of paper that comes with my watercolor, so that helps me to figure out what color I want to use. And I started using this kind of orange color for the eyes. It might look like a yellow here, but it's kind of yellow orange color, and I started with the eye first, and then I'm gonna use a black color, and I'm also gonna do the outline and also gonna fill everything inside of the eye here. And I slightly fast forwarded this video because this took me a little longer time to paint, and I don't want it to make this video too long. But as you can see, I just maybe fast forwarded a little bit. You still can see everything I'm gonna do here. So I'm gonna work on the beak now. Now the inside of the beak part is darker, so I'm just using plain black. And I'm gonna work on the lower beak here first, and I apply the water first, and I'm using a kind of light gray color here first and a little bit of black too. And I started applying from the bottom, and I leave a little space between the middle part and the lower beak here. Alright, so now I'm gonna do the same thing for the top area here too. I'm just gonna apply water first. I'm leaving a little space between the middle area and this top area. You will see in a second, but I started with the light gray because I wanted to make the top of the beak a little bit lighter and the bottom of the beak here a little bit more darker. And after I apply both of the colors, I go back in between those two colors to blend that a little bit. Alright, so now the fun part began. I'm using my bigger brush. Again, it's a number 6 size. And I started working from the top of the head here. And I'm just applying water first. And I started applying some yellow first. And then I use a little bit of light blue color here. And I'm just dropping the paint, like adding the depths like this. Now, mixing this blue and the yellow, it becomes slightly a little bit green color. And I'm just gonna keep applying more darker and darker blue as I'm coming down, just for the head part here, and going back again on the front part and trying to give a nice shade of different colors again. So I'm just gonna add more blue. Now I don't want my parrot to be just one color, so now as I'm coming down, I'm trying to use all the different shades of all the different colors here. So as you can see, I take a little bit light green, I'm sorry, a little bit of light blue, and then I take some yellow that looks like green here, and I'm using more water and very less paint. If I feel like I want to make it darker, I just take more paint, but I always like to start with the very less paint. And this is how I'm just gonna apply all different colors here. So I am also gonna use a purple color here now. And going back with some more blue. I'm also gonna use more yellow later. And one tip I like to give you here, which I didn't really pay attention earlier when I was painting this, is make your pencil line a little bit more darker, because as I'm painting this, I'm covering all my pencil line, and later I have to create that design, that feather look again with just a paint. So you can make your pencil line a little bit more darker if you are also painting with me. That is gonna help you for the next part. Alright, so I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna work on the neck area. I am just using plain yellow here for now, and then I'm just gonna use red color to add more feathery look like this. I'm just adding like lines under this area just like this, and I'm also gonna do the same thing on the edges a little bit. I'm gonna use red color on the edges, and then I'm also going to use a little bit of brown also here. So again, I'm just doing the edges right now. Now I'm working on the shadows under the chin here, and I'm also using the same color and kind of applying this color like this. And I also go back with some more brown color this time and adding more brown, mostly on the same way like I applied the red. Adding some lines like this first, going over the edges again, and also for the shadow area. Alright, so now this part, I'm gonna use my smallest brush. Again, it's a number 0 size, and now I'm adding this type of lines around the eyes here. So it's hard to explain, but I'm just adding this type of lines. Now for this next part, make sure your whole painting is dry before you do this part. I'm gonna start adding some more details and add more hair, more feathers on top of the head. And for the yellow area, I'm gonna use orange color, and I'm gonna add this type of lines, like wiggly lines, that's gonna look like hair. And as I'm coming down on the blue color area, I'm using a darker blue here. So again, for the yellow part, I use orange, and for the light blue area here I'm using dark blue. Just adding this type of wiggly lines. Not really thinking so much here. And I'm gonna do the same thing all the way down to the chin, the neck area I mean. Alright, so now from here I'm gonna make these lines slightly a little bit bigger and bigger as I'm coming down, like this. Now I'm also going over my eye because I wanted to do the outline, so I just apply a little bit of gray color. I use gray here, it might look like a black, and then I just apply a little bit of water inside of the line that I just had. Alright, going back to the body here again, as you can see I started adding this type of lines, like a half circles, and as I'm coming down I'm just gonna make this bigger and bigger. Now as you can see I don't see my pencil line here, so that's why I'm gonna start actually from the bottom and then work my way up, because it was hard to figure out for me how bigger these lines, these circles I want to add. So I'm gonna start from the bottom, and I'm gonna add the larger feather first and then work my way up. Now I know this is not the same outline, same feather as I had this before with the pencil, but I have to just work around, right? So now here what I'm doing is working on the shadows. So I am using my darkest blue here, and just on the middle part here there is a shadow, so I'm just adding this darker blue here. Now to make this a little bit better, what I did is apply that same darker color under the feather like this, and then I clean my brush and just apply a little bit more water under that line to create the shadow for each feather that I can see here. So again, basically what I did is apply the line. I used the same color first and then clean my brush and apply just the water under that area. I'm not going on the feather, just on the bottom of the feather. That's gonna create the shadow again. And this literally took me like an hour to do, but it was fun doing this part. And for top of this area, I'm not really adding a lot of water. I'm basically just doing the outline with the darker color here, you can say. Just like this, I'm just not going over with the water here. Now here I'm doing the outline on the beak just using a black, and also add a line on top of the head here to connect the beak there. And also I add more lines around the eyes with just using a black color. And it might be hard to see this part, but what I'm doing is adding tiny little hair on top of the head like this, and also around the eyes area too. And with that same black color, I also did the outline, basically you can say, all the way around of my parrot here. And to make just some of the area pop out a little bit more, I also did the outline inside of the feather here using that black color. Again, not going everywhere, just on the area I want to make it more darker. So yeah, something like this. Alright, so now this is all I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna work on the other things. I'm gonna add like tiny little feet right here. As you can see, I don't know how to draw up feet, so I'm just adding a little light brown color here, and then I'm just gonna draw the branch. I started with the one line and it was hard for me to stop, so I add a whole bunch of branches then. So what I basically did is use a lighter brown on the top of the line and darker brown on the bottom of the branch. That's gonna create the shadows on that each branch that I'm gonna add. Alright, so one last part. You might not like it, but I kind of like it. So you can stop right here if you feel like. But I'm gonna add some colors in the background, and I go with the bold red color here. So I kind of apply water first and then take the darkest red on my palette and just kind of apply that color there on the top of the left side and the bottom right side. And everywhere else I'm just gonna add a bunch of splatters. Now again, I'm still at my parents' home, and I only have watercolor and the watercolor paper, and I really wanted to share some of more videos, more paintings I do. So that's why I'm just sharing with whatever I have here. And thank you so much guys for all the supports and everything. It's no matter how much I say, it's never enough. So thank you so much for watching all of my videos, and this is all I'm gonna do with this painting. I'm just gonna add more splatters later. But if you like this video, don't forget to give a big thumbs up, and also if you are new to my channel, subscribe to my channel to see more watercolor painting, acrylic painting. I'm gonna work on the acrylic painting soon when I go back home, and then some maybe more DIY if I have more time for that. So yeah, So here all I'm doing is covering my parrot with the other hand and adding the splatters with some more red, bold red color. And I'm also going to use this yellow color, and I also have this neon yellow color that I'm going to use. So that's all I'm gonna do. And if you're also painting with me, if you want to share your painting, please share it to me. I love to see your painting. And yeah, here I'm all done, and thank you so much again for watching my video. I will see you next time. Bye.